Hi guys, Hamza here. Welcome to my first YouTube video where I'm actually sat in front of the camera and not behind it. Thanks for joining me. So a lot of you have asked me what it's like to be a professional filmmaker and a little bit of an insight of something that used to be a hobby that I've now turned into a professional career alongside my full-time job. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how did I take it from being a hobby to becoming something professional? So in this video today, I'll be talking about my top 5 tips on how you can go from being a hobbyist filmmaker or photographer and how you can become a professional one. So tip number 1 for you guys is make sure you do it because you love it. When you're doing this professionally, it has to be something that you love, because you'll be spending hours upon hours editing, shooting, etc. to get that final product. So it has to be something that you really love. Obviously for myself, my passion is in travel filmmaking, but whether for yourself it's food photography, food videography, weddings, events, anything really, you just have to find something that you really love to do. The reason you have to love and have a passion for what you do is, if you're like me, trying to do it alongside a full-time job, when you're spending them hours in the editing software, you need to keep motivated, and doing something that you don't enjoy, you'll find yourself getting bored very quickly and giving up. Tip number 2 is to spend a lot of time online, whether that's YouTube, Skillshare, anything really that you can get your hands on for more information. So for myself, I spent hours upon hours on YouTube researching the sort of equipment I need, the sort of software I need, how to correctly put sound into a video, lighting. There's loads and loads of aspects to creating a successful video that's nice to watch. If you're like me and you went from shooting video on your phone to taking that to a DSLR or another camera, it is hard to first learn that. So you need to spend a lot of time understanding your camera settings, what ISO is, what the aperture is, and the sort of techniques that you'll need to get that video or photo that you like. You might take a lot of inspiration from videos you've seen online, on YouTube or on Instagram, and that was the case for me. And if there was ever a certain transition or something that I liked from a video, I went away and learned how to do that transition, how to master it, before I tried applying it to a video of my own. I actually started getting paid for my videos before I had a DSLR, before I had a gimbal. I actually started just shooting videos on my iPhone, and you'll be really surprised at how much good content you can create just off your smartphones, whether that's photos or video. So it doesn't always mean necessarily that you need the most expensive equipment, but you just need to know how to use your equipment to the best of its ability and capability. So like if it's for a phone, most likely you're going to need very good lighting conditions. You're not really going to be able to shoot indoors or in dark scenes. Tip number 3 is to build your portfolio, whether that's on YouTube or Instagram or a website or something. Your content has to be in a central place that you can direct potential clients to, because they, potential clients are not going to want to pay you without knowing the sort of level of content that you can offer them. And that's the best way to sort of guide them really. They can go to your YouTube channels, check out the videos that you've created. One way I've always found useful to build my portfolio is initially trying to offer packages. So whether that's offering something free, offering a free photo shoot, offering a free promotional video or something like that, something that you find interesting, and you know that you can edit well, because when that is on your portfolio, it will help you sell yourself going forward. Tip number 4 is jumping on every opportunity that you come across. It sort of leads back to point number 3 about building your portfolio, but you really can and you should jump at every opportunity to build your portfolio, get more exposure to yourself, get more traffic back towards your pages, because the more traffic you have to your pages, obviously, as you can imagine, you're going to have potential clients who will see your work and want to work with you. And I guess for myself, being in the travel film industry, something that really helped me was big social media pages. So they reached out wanting to use my content. It's can seem sometimes that you want to get paid for it, but actually the exposure that they offer to their millions and millions of followers can give you far more benefit than getting paid for that one specific job. That actually led me to get opportunities with the BBC, with Sky, with Channel 5, they reached out through my social media pages after having seen my content on other social media channels. Adding to that point really, you will, especially at the start, find yourself doing a lot of work for either very cheap or even free, and that's not necessarily something that you should look down upon. You should take it as an opportunity. Tip number 5 is make sure you invest in equipment that you need to do exactly what you're trying to do. So for myself, I needed a DSLR, I needed a gimbal to sort of get smooth footage, to get that cinematic look. I needed a drone, I needed a tripod, lots of basic things that you do need to get. And to be honest, I didn't start off with the expensive equipment, because I found myself, and this isn't just with filmmaking, but with everything else I've always done in my life, is I start off with something a bit cheaper, make sure I can maximize the capability from that equipment before I move on. There's no point having the most expensive gear and not knowing how to use it. As I say, all the gear, no idea, but you really do need to maximize the capability of what you have got. Once you found that you've reached that point, so for myself is when I first had my first drone, I mastered the different movements with the drone, so whether that's circling, panning shots, etc., before I moved on to that more expensive drone, which I needed to provide that better, that extra quality that I needed for the content. So yeah, guys, that's my 5 top tips on how you can become a professional photographer or videographer, especially if you're looking to do it alongside a full-time job. I hope you've really enjoyed watching it, and if you have, please give it a like. And if you want to see any other videos, drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys soon.